What's up, JEFusion fans? This is Philip, and welcome back to another video. So, with episode 24, Kamen Rider Zeztz has basically finished its current season, and by episode 25, we're gonna see like a brand new storyline start. And given the promotional images of the show and everything new that is coming with the upcoming episode 25, there's definitely one thing in the promotional poster and material that is definitely catching everyone's attention. Kamen Rider Dawn. So yes, we are finally getting introduced to the actual third rider of the show, and this is who we're going to focus on today. So not much is known about Kamen Rider Dawn just yet, other than the things that we can see from the promotional images so far. So, his color scheme, his suit is basically black, and like there are red and like violet accents around him in various places, of course. And a couple of things that you would immediately notice is that like on his chest, like there's an X-shaped like device or something. Well, it does look like it could function similar to like the Zeztz driver or the other other similar devices, basically like the Nox driver or Night Invoker, Lord Invoker. Uh, while we see that Kamen Rider Zeztz presents those henshin belts as actually worn on the chest, like across, like in this fashion. So, Kamen Rider Dawn's chest piece, like, does have like the central piece, and then like actually like an X pattern, like going around both shoulders and around the lower torso or torso area. But what is interesting to note is that if you look at the center, you know, you actually wouldn't see the capsum, but rather on his weapon. So, whether this chest piece is just for decoration, we don't know for certain, but I guess we are going to see someone who actually transforms using their weapon this time around. So, as far as information that is concerned, so it apparently, Kamen Rider Dawn uses the Punish Capsum, and his weapon is called the Breakum Dawn. And wouldn't you know it, like again, as you would see in the promotional images, the capsum is actually attached to the Breakum Dawn. So the Breakum Dawn is kind of like a sword, similar to the Breakum Zetzer or the Breakum Breaker. However, it does have like a unique function, and it can separate into two blades. So one is like the bigger blade, so like the sword. Again, this is where you would attach the capsum, and the shorter one is there. It's a shorter blade that can detach from the longer blade. Uh, so I guess like again, if you want to use like finishing moves, you probably have to activate the capsum on the on the bigger blade of the Breakum Dawn. So what is interesting as well is that if you look at the promotional poster for Kamen Rider Zeztz season 2, season 3, I'm not sure. So anyways, so in this new promotional poster, so we see Kamen Rider Zeztz versus Dawn. So is he actually going to be a villainous rider? I mean, Nox is filling in that position pretty well, but who knows? Maybe when Nox makes a comeback, he's gonna be an ally of some sort. I don't know. We really can't tell from the pacing of the entire show right now, but nonetheless, we are definitely going to see another Rider versus Rider scenario with Kamen Rider Dawn on the scene. Now, who is going to be Kamen Rider Dawn? So at this point, we don't have any reveals just yet, and this is where, I'm gonna let my imagination fly. So there could have been rumors quite early that Agent Zero is going to be Kamen Rider Dawn, but that may not be necessary. So he still has the Zeroider form. He doesn't really transform, but we understand that uh, he can control the Zeroider, and he's gonna make it fight for him on his behalf. But we do see Kamen Rider Dawn as someone like, again, like Zeztz, or Nox Knight, the Lords, or anyone similar to that. But the thing is, so we now have like 8 agents introduced from Agent Zero, of course, so we know who he is already, and until Agent 7, of course, Baku, aka Kamen Rider Zeztz. So there's still one agent position that we haven't even heard of, or rather, we know it exists, but we don't know who it's going to be. And that, in my theory, would be agent number 1. So we're not going to see like a brand new agent like an agent number 8, not necessarily. But if we are going to see Kamen Rider Zeztz, or rather Kamen Rider Dawn, I'm sorry, you know. But in this case, again, there's one agent position not yet revealed to us, and that is agent number 1. So if agent number 1 is Kamen Rider Dawn, so I think this makes a lot of sense, all things considered. So again, there's still one agent position yet to be revealed, and we see most of the other positions, at least from Lords 3, Lords 3, 5, and 6. Of course, Agent 4 was Nox, and he is now Kamen Rider Nox. So Kamen Rider Zeztz is agent number 7. Now, we don't know if uh, like agent number 2 has any sort of transformation device that can allow transformation into maybe someone similar to the Lords, or whatever. But definitely there would have been someone to base off like the rider system that Baku is using, and that, if proven, if Kamen Rider Dawn is the agent number 1 that we're talking about, then this makes the most sense. He is the first rider, and every system that we use, or we see being used rather, in the show would be based off of his technology. So again, maybe the chest armor is just for show, but from that they based, like, what if we made the transformation items, the belts that are mounted on the chest, and therefore we get, devices like the Lord Invoker, Knight Invoker, and eventually the Zeztz driver. But in this case, again, like I've mentioned earlier, so his actual transformation device is the Breakum Dawn, and from the Breakum Dawn, so again, given its similar design to weapons like the Lord, or rather, the Breakum Breaker, and later the Breakum Zetzer, so again, it makes sense if that would be the prototype for all of these weapons and devices that we've seen used in the show. So again, we don't know what his deal is going to be, but I've seen information already in the Kamen Rider wiki, and he seems to be like fighting, not just Baku or like the writers, but he's someone who he's just going to eliminate everyone in his way. Whether it's Code, whether it's the Nightmare, whether it's Baku, anyone who gets in his way. in order to turn the world itself into a nightmare. I'm not sure how he's gonna do that, or if that happens, then we're all cooked. Okay? So, nonetheless, again, like, I really don't get the motivation of those who want to, you know, use the power of the nightmares, but I don't know. We're gonna see. Of course, Baku as our main protagonist, he's the hero, so he's definitely going to save the world from nightmares. But seeing that, you know, the lady wants to use the power of the nightmares for her own reasons. Code is acting really, really sus, and we don't know what they want to do with the nightmares. And now, Kamen Rider Dawn, if he is Agent One, we're yet to find out. He wants to turn the whole world itself into a nightmare. So I don't know why, whatever their reasons are, but we're going to have to see them in future episodes. Now, I am interested in seeing them, but, like, what exactly is your goal by doing that? What is your end goal by turning the world into a nightmare? So, anyways, you guys can also feel free to theorize on that and tell me down in the comments below. So, that's all I can say for Kamen Rider Dawn, and I am looking forward to this brand new storyline or brand new story arc coming soon for the show, starting episode 25. So again, it's definitely getting a lot more interesting, and definitely there are a lot of mysteries to be answered. Again, like the whole deal about like the lady's own personal goals, and again, like why Dawn is trying to turn the world into a nightmare, and the real secret of Code, what their actual goals are. So those things, again, like, the show gives us these questions that are waiting to be answered, and hopefully the showrunners actually do provide us answers about these questions. So again, what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments section. As always, thanks for watching. Please do leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, and don't forget that notification bell so you get the latest from JEFusion. This has been Philip, and I'll see you next time. Bye.